So I have a raw data set here that's not too unlike what you might actually see in the real world. Now we're going to go through and summarize this information using some of the formulas that we learned in our previous video. And I'm going to answer the questions in this table, and I'm going to go pretty fast. So if you need to rewatch this video, go ahead. So we'll start with the table here. I'm going to start with total units sold. And to get that, all I'm going to do is type equals sum and sum up my quantity column. For total units sold of a specific SKU, I'm going to do a sum if, go over to my SKU column, because that's the range I want to look in, the criteria. I'm just going to select the first SKU in the list, and I want it to sum up my quantity of that SKU. So I have 38 of that SKU. For total orders, I need to use a count A formula. A little different than before because my data is not actually a number, it's a text, and it says I have 1761 total orders. For total orders on Sunday, I need to insert a new column. I'm going to show you a new formula here. So DOW, I abbreviate for day of week. We're going to do equals text. I'm going to select my date. Parentheses DDD will return THU for Thursday. If I want the full word, I put a fourth D and it returns Thursday. Because I'm on Windows, I can double click that bottom right and it drags my formula down. Now I can go back here and do a count if. Go over to my day of week column, type in Sunday, hit enter, and it says you have 198 orders on Sunday. For how many multis orders, I'm going to add a new column here to write my if statement in. And all I'm going to do is say if my quantity is greater than 1, and to keep it simple, I'll just say yes, and otherwise say no. Hit enter. I double click the bottom right corner, drags my formula down, and now I can go over and do my count if formula. So I'm going to say I want to count if this range is equal to yes. It will tell me how many multis orders I have, 867. For the single, I could do the same formula and just say my criteria is no, but that's not too interesting, so I'll show you another way. I'm going to do count, select my range of all of my yeses and nos, and then just subtract my yeses. And I actually forgot here, I got to do a count A, because this also is not numeric. And then it gives me the nos. For average units per order, easy formula, equals average. Go to my quantity column, hit enter, 1.74 units per order. For the highest revenue, if you look at my columns here, I don't have anything close to that. So I have to go over to my separate tab where I have what's called a family tree. It contains all my SKU information. And I want to pull that over here. So I'm going to insert a couple of columns. First thing I'm going to do is add the price. Then I'll add like the total revenue. We'll do this by using a Vlookup. I'm going to look up my SKU, and then I have to swap over to my other tab, select the table I want it to pull from, give it the 1, 2, 3, third column, comma, parenthesis, enter, and watch when I drag this down, you'll see that all these NAs appeared. I'll explain why that happened. If you look at my reference table, it's A1 there, but as I dragged it down, it changed my reference table till eventually it turned into those NAs. So I want to fix that. All you have to do is put your cursor in there and hit F4 on both of those inputs. And then when I drag that down, it locks my table in with those dollar signs. So now my price is pulled in for every SKU. And for revenue, I can just write an easy formula of my quantity times my price. Gives me my revenue for that order. I drag that down. And now I can answer this question by saying equals max. Select my column and I get $98. For the state with most orders and these other two questions, customers and repeats, we're going to use a pivot table. That'll be the easiest way to do this. So I'll insert my pivot table, and I'm going to do it on the same existing worksheet just so you can see a side-by-side comparison. Hit OK, it opens up my pane here. And from here, we'll just spot check while we're at it to make sure that our formulas worked. Sum of units is 3071, that matches. I can filter on that same SKU that I did my sum if for. Shows 38, that matches. And you can actually spot check the rest of these if you'd like. Again, the pivot table could do most of what we've done. So for state, I'm just going to drag my location down, put my order number down, and it immediately goes into a count. And I can quickly see that California has 291 orders, which is my highest state. I'm going to put 291 for the number there. I'll click back over in my pivot table here, and I'll clear these fields out. For the next question for my customers, it's a unique customer number. So I'm going to drag this down to my rows. And for this, I'm just going to highlight all of these. It's a little quick shortcut. In the bottom right, it'll give you the count there. So without doing much, I can just type in 652. For number of repeat customers, this one's a little trickier. I'm going to show you an easy way to do it. There's multiple ways. I'm going to drag order number into my values field. That shows me how many orders per customer. I'll select those, copy them. I'll just paste it right here. I'm going to put a heading on each of these columns. And with that heading, I can then throw a filter on those. So you go to the data tab, filter, and I just want to see the customers with more than one order. Again, if I highlight, go down, I can see 510 there. Another way you could have put a filter on, or to take a filter off, you can do a keyboard shortcut, Control-Shift-L, takes that off. And then I can put my 510 into my last field. So there you have it. We have all of our answers, and it took a little over 6 minutes. Not too bad.